There's been a bit of talk in the past couple of months, even a year now, since the FA announced that there would be a new League of Ireland Third Tier. Since then, though, it has gone a bit radio silent. In this video, I will go through what I think will be the proposals within it, what will it consist of, and how will it run in a practical sense. Recently there was a rebrand to the League of Ireland, the Men's Premier and First Division, along with the Women's Premier Division, where each league has been given their own specific colour. The overall general colour scheme of the League of Ireland is green, the Men's Premier Division is blue, the First Division is orange, and the Women's Premier Division is pink. I'd say the most suitable colour maybe for a third tier would be red or yellow, maybe more so red. What clubs would we be going with? We'd obviously ideally want more clubs from counties that don't have League of Ireland clubs at this current moment in time. There's a few counties that used to have League of Ireland clubs. There are a few clubs that are set up in counties such as Carlow, Clare, Mayo, Tipperary, but I'm not sure would they want to make the step up to a League of Ireland setup. So out of all the counties that don't have any League of Ireland clubs, you have Leitrim, Mayo, Cavan, Monaghan, Meath, Kildare, Tipperary, Laois, Carlow, Kilkenny, Clare, Offaly and Roscommon. Some of them will have bigger populations than others. I think ideally some of the standout counties you'd want a League of Ireland club for would be Mayo maybe. Then you have a few more clubs in the Midlands like Offaly, Roscommon, Carlow, Tipperary, which is a big county. Major factor though is population density. What counties are more highly populated that would be able to bring in crowds every second week? How many clubs would you want in the third division? Ideally, you'd want between 8 and 12 clubs to make it somewhat competitive and not too repetitive. As well as that, what effects will this have on first division in terms of promotion, relegations? The first division will face the consequence of relegation to the second division, and clubs that finish top of the second division will be promoted. And I suppose you could introduce the whole playoff system that's already currently in place. As well as that, obviously you would need to introduce prize money. At the moment, the first division prize money ranges from 36,000 to 11,000, totaling up to around 182,000 euro. So there's not a whole load of money there. Hopefully maybe next year could be a different story. I wouldn't hold my breath on that though. So what will be the positives of a third division? Well, first off, it would add depth. We need more clubs on the footballing scene. We look at even our neighbours in the north who have 4 divisions. We look at Scotland who have 4 divisions. Even Iceland who have only 330,000 people. They have, I believe, 3 or 4 divisions. So they have a better depth in their league than us. As well as this, setting up new League of Ireland clubs in counties that don't already have a club would bring in more people interested in the league. Now we see Kerry, first 6 months of Kerry has been phenomenal starts for them. Hopefully the buzz continues and they can continue building on and upward. So hopefully clubs can emulate what Kerry have done this year so far and bring their own spin to it, whether it be in Mayo, Kildare, Tipperary, Clare, wherever else. Another major benefit would be possibly finding more talent. These clubs would mostly be amateur, but if they're given players in their local area a chance, you just never know what could be there. There could be an unknown gem, or there could be nobody. Probably add more competition if you finish bottom of the first division. As things are, there's just very little point of being a bottom place team in the first division. You don't suffer any consequence for being terrible. You just finish bottom and then that's it. On to the next season. Whereas with this, there's the potential of new clubs coming up, clubs with good potential. So if more clubs were to join, it would probably give Kerry a bit more company in not being the only amateur team in the whole league. As I say that, there is this graph that I've compiled where we can see this spectrum of full-time professional to amateur. As things stand with the Premier and First Division, we only have mainly full-time professional teams and semi-pro teams. Now if we were to introduce a third tier, we may see a lot more amateur teams, but hopefully maybe in time they will be able to afford to pay their players even on a part-time level. I mainly came up with two things. So the resources that would be involved in trying to set up a third division would be taken away from whatever budget we have for helping the top two tiers. As I was making this video, it was actually announced that Mayo FC would be joining the underage structure in League Ireland in 2024, I believe. Now, I'm not sure about what's the case with the senior team. This will definitely help my analogy in the next bit. With setting up a club in either Meath or Mayo or Cavan or even maybe Clare, whatever amount of people in those counties that do go to League Ireland games, such as Sligo Rovers and Galway United for people that live in Mayo, the people that would have attended may not attend those games as much or even any more if they have their own club to support in their own county. Now, those people might still have the tradition of going up to Sligo or going down to Galway. It'll depend on how things are set up. I think a third division has been long overdue, considering that it's not really a bad thing. Obviously, you'd want to put all your focus into improving what we have as it is, but maybe adding a third division could get a bit more hype going around counties that don't already have League Ireland clubs. We've already seen what it's like with Kerry having their first ever League Ireland club. It is needed, I'd say, to have a bit more depth. It's a promising time. The attendances are up. Our performances in Europe are pretty impressive. When do we need to start seeing some action on this? I'd say as soon as possible. Like, we're already now in June and next year's league will start in February. So that's 8 months away. We kind of need to start seeing some more talk from the FAI unless they plan to delay it till the following season. According to the Irish Mirror, they said that apparently it's supposed to be established of 10 teams, but it'll be split into North and South to help reduce with the various costs associated with long distance travelling. Let's say Finn Harps and Cove were relegated. They wouldn't be able to play each other because it would be divided into North and South. So does that mean you'd only have 5 teams playing against each other, or is it like 2 groups of 5, or would it be 2 leagues of 10? So would you have third division North, third division South? So would you have 20 teams? It's an interest. There's so many different concepts that could be done with this if you want to do North and South. Granted, yeah, these are all going to be probably amateur clubs. Some of them might be reservists, because this article does also mention about reserve teams, and it's a kind of a touchy issue. People are not so inclined for there to be a reserve clubs competing. We saw it with when Shamrock Rovers 2. Yeah, I'd rather when the B team's not number 2. It's almost like they're not Shamrock Rovers' original title. It sounds like they're the sequel. Okay, and yeah, of course, reserve clubs wouldn't be able to move up and down. Yeah, that's to be expected, obviously. But, well, wouldn't like Dartmouth's B team are able to be promoted and relegated from the 4th division up to the 3rd division? Obviously, you can't have the reserves playing against the first team. I'd say if a Shamrock Rovers or a Bohemians B team came in, they would be able to be promoted maybe, but like they wouldn't be in the same division as Bows. But would you allow them to be promoted? Like, would they be allowed to be promoted to the 1st division? I don't know. It's a bit of a complex issue when you're talking about reserve teams and B teams. Like, if universities want to get involved, okay, by all means, yeah. University in Cork, technically University in Donegal and Sligo. Mayo is an IT now. They're part of the ATU University, so do you have teams from the Leinster Senior League, Munster Senior League and the Ulster Senior League joining up? Would they want to get involved? Maybe. The regional split does seem reasonable. I do understand where they're coming from, but if you have just 10 clubs and 5 of them are playing against each other and the other 5 are playing against each other, it's gonna get a bit repetitive. Like, you need at least 16 clubs to join up, and 8 play in the north and 8 play in the south, as in the north of the Republic and the south of the Republic. If you look at Leinster Senior League clubs, you have Crumlin, who are fairly good, Lucan, Home Farm, Maynooth. Now, I don't know if people of Kildare want to get behind Maynooth University or Maynooth University Town. That's where all the priests go. You could have a bunch of priests playing for Maynooth. You have a load of Dublin teams here. Like, how many Dublin teams do we want joining up? Because we already have 5, and people are like, oh, there's too many Dublin teams. Even though, Dublin takes up 1/3 of the population of this country. Tipperary, I think, is a big, it's a big area, Tipperary. College Corinthians. Sound like, I've heard of them, yeah. They sound like they're the Corinthians in Brazil. Very different. Cove Wanderers, not to be mixed up with the Cove Ramblers. I think we might have enough teams from Cove. What's Cove's population? 12,000. It's not the biggest. Not exactly big enough to accommodate 2 teams. Limerick? I don't know. Limerick's a bit of a strange case at the moment. Would you have Limerick FC rejoin the League of Ireland? There's still that whole thing going on with Limerick FC, and I really don't know what is the case. Making this video was a bit on and off for the past few months. I had meant to be back a bit sooner than this. I had a lot of different commitments, and I even had to re-edit and re-record a few portions of the video. I'm hoping to be a bit more defined and consistent in future, where it won't take me as long to upload a new video, because now it's been nearly 12 months.